asset. Because if the equity agenda means anything, it means that incompetent people ought to be in charge. That's equity. As New York City Councilwoman Rita Joseph put it, questions about Fetterman's profound brain damage are, quote, incredibly ableist. Ableist. We desperately need more diversity in elected office, and that includes people with speech impediments. Well, we desperately need that. That is absolutely right. But actually, we're not talking about a speech impediment. She's telling us he's got a stutter, just like Joe Biden. Remember when they told you that Joe Biden's dementia was just a stutter? But of course, a speech impediment would not prevent Fetterman or Biden from understanding other people's speech. Investigative reporter Hunter Walker, who writes for Rolling Stone and The New Yorker, answered that question with a question of his own. Quote, would they treat a deaf person like this for needing assistance? Oh, so if you have questions about John Fetterman, you hate the deaf. You're a hearingist, bigot. We're going to close down your bank account at JP Morgan, ableist. But again, it's not really relevant to the Senate race in Pennsylvania because, once again, John Fetterman doesn't have hearing problems. He's not deaf. This isn't deafness. This is brain damage. So the Independent's Eric Michael Garcia tried to tie up that loose end, and he used an analogy to do it. That's how really smart people talk. How is this any different, he wrote, from Tammy Duckworth or Madison Cawthorn needing a wheelchair? Oh, so John Fetterman being unable to talk without reading it off a screen, either from the software or from one of his staffers backstage, is exactly the same as being wounded in defense of your own country. It's a war injury. And then John Fetterman's wife, who came into this country as an illegal alien, by the way, wondered the same thing. And we're quoting, truly appalling. Have these journalists never heard of the Americans with Disabilities Act? Really curious to learn how they feel about wheelchairs and glasses. End quote. Really? So your questions about John Fetterman's mental health, the acuity of his brain, his ability to talk and listen and reason, use his higher faculties, those questions are banned by the Americans with Disabilities Act because he's not just an incompetent guy trying to take over the country. No, he's disabled. Over at Vox, Ian Millhiser said he knows exactly how Fetterman's bigoted critics view people with eyeglasses, like the Khmer Rouge. Quote, is it the position of NBC News that a senator with glasses cannot be trusted in office because they use assistive technology to accommodate their disability? It's so unbelievable. Not only can you not ask questions about the guy you're supposed to vote for and whether he can actually represent you in the United States Senate, you're not allowed. He's fine, and by the way, the fact he's not fine is the reason to vote for him. So they're hitting you from both sides. Vote for him because he's so profoundly disabled, and we don't have enough of those in the Senate. But if you note that he's profoundly disabled, you're a bigot. Woo! They got you coming and going. Have you heard this before? Does it sound kind of familiar? Where they take someone with an obvious impairment and then they use him to accrue more power for themselves. It's not really about the disabled person, it's about them. And then if you ask questions about it, shut up, bigot! Does the term Greta Thunberg come to mind? That's the girl who's always lecturing you about global